Hi there, everyone. This is Darcel2K7, aka Sonic Sky Chaser. As you may know, John Madden passed away yesterday morning. He was 85 years old. So I made a video about it. I also made a lovely video of me playing Mutant Football League to act as tribute because he did coach for the Oakland Raiders, so I figured, why not, right? Also I didn't have Madden installed on my PS4, so that. In the NFL world, the team, the commissioner, and players actually paid lovely tributes to John Madden, which was really good. And I hope that no one will try to spit on his grave to try to get some Twitter clout, right? If that was the case, I wouldn't be making this video now, would I, right? Yes, because for some dumbass reason, some woke idiot decided to come out of whatever hole he got in and decided to try to use John Madden's death to attack John Madden, even though he passed away, because that's how idiots that's how leftist motherfuckers on Twitter do. They always, I repeat, always find a way to attack people who recently died just for Twitter clout, because they know for a fact that if they would have stayed this shit when they were alive, they would have been pushed. That person would talk shit on them. But see, though, that they're died, they can talk shit about it because they can't fight back. Trust me, it happened to Norm Macdonald, it happened to Stan Lee, and it happened to the late great Kobe Bryant. So here it is. I'm reading this from Bounding in the Comments by John F. Trent. Shout out to him. Dallas College professor spit on John Madden's grave. Claims the Madden video game, the Madden NFL series, dehumanized black athletes. I kid you not. It's this type of shit makes people hate woke motherfuckers. Let me read. Andrew McGregor, a history professor at the Dallas College, decided to target John Madden and his legacy following his death at the age of 85. The Associated Press reported that the Hall of Fame coach and broadcaster died unexpectedly, but did not provide a cause of death. In reaction to his death, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones praised Madden, saying, "I am not aware of anyone who has made a more meaningful impact on the National Football League than John Madden, and I know of no one who loved the game more." I got too much respect for Jerry Jones. I can't shit on him, man. However, not all reactions have such high praise as Madden as Jones did. Andrew McGregor decided to spit on John Madden's grave following the announcement that the Hall of Famer had passed. Gregor took to Twitter where he wrote, and I quote, "I have lots of opinions on John Madden. The creation of the Madden video game was not a great development for the U.S. It further glamorized violence and dehumanized black athletes, helping to establish plantation cosplay that has grown worse in the era of fantasy football." Yes, for some reason he attacking John Madden over the creation of Madden NFL, the Madden NFL video game series. You know, the one that people love to play. Hell, I play it too. And for some reason he attacking it because the game glamorized violence and dehumanized black athletes. How? How does that work? How? In a subsequent tweet, he added, "The video game distances the reality of the violent sports from fans and transform human behaviors into artificial numbers and simulations. It glamorized athletes, using their names for profit, while encouraged fans to disregard their humanity. Madden built a digital plantation." No, it does not. No, it fucking doesn't. I mean, heck, even when I do play Madden, when I see a player goes down with an injury, I was like, oh my God, I hope he's okay. I care about that player's injury. I give a fuck about that player's injury. Just like you give a fuck about every player who gets injured while watching actual football on Sundays. I mean, heck, I hate the Dallas Cowboys. Let's get real day clear. I hate them. I'm a Redskins for life. But when I see one of their players go down, I'm like, oh man, I hope he's okay. I show humanity, all right? I show it. Continuing this thread, McGregor wrote, "At every point in his career, coach, announcer, video game producer, Madden profited off of black athletes' labor and glamorized the violence inherent in the game. He became ubiquitous and grew the NFL into the most popular game and has intended the development of esports, he remarked. McGregor continued to disintegrate Madden and his legacy. Sure, there's a lot of significant to his life and his impact, but it's pretty clear most of his accomplishments were not beneficial or healthy of athletes, particularly non-white athletes. John Madden made a life in football, one of the most violent and exploitative sports. The Dallas College professor concluded this thread writing, when your entire life is based on expanding and profiting off of one of the most violent and exploited games, victory is not exactly something that you deserve. Fuck you, man! Fuck you. McGregor would go on to attempt to justify his disgusting behavior in a number of replies. In one response, he sold his name to the game for $150 million. That makes him more than complicit in the violence and glamorization. He wrote, the key here is consumption of the sports as distorted reality. Video games dehumanize players. They create fantasies of super teams and notion of control and management replicated in fantasy sport, where we control and manipulate rosters and players. It's deeply problematic. No, it's not deeply problematic. When I play sports games, like in Madden, in NBA, in mutant footballing, in college football, I have to manage my rosters because I got to make sure if this roster is really good, if this player is really good, or if he's about to hang it up. I also look at their age. I look at their stats. Those are important. He followed up claiming that the NFL is complicit in white supremacy. He said that the NFL is complicit in white supremacy. I'm sorry, but when you start saying that shit, you lose all fucking common sense. He tweeted, Madden was the symbol of this and teamed with his media magnified it more than other games or titles. It's part of the rise of the NFL, which we have known long has been horrible for health and complicit in white supremacy. You can't disconnect him from any of that. He went on to justify a claim that the NFL is complicit in white supremacy by tweeting, just because they're getting paid doesn't mean they're not still participating in an exploited, radicalized system. Okay, if that's the case, then why? If you think that, okay. Dr. Andrew McGregor, I have to ask you this one simple ass fucking question, okay? If the NFL is complicit in white supremacy, then why come many black athletes then why come there are so many black athletes who want to go to college and try to work their ass off to get into the NFL? And also, if the NFL is complicit, then how come the majority of the fucking league is fucking black? God damn, how stupid do you have to be? McGregor would eventually claim that all professional sports are unethical and it's not about race. Bullshit. He tweeted, it's not just about race, in my honest opinion. As Kurt Floyd pointed out, being paid less than your value is a form of exploitation. Add to the health risk and other issues, it's hard to see violent sports as unethical. That's bullshit. Of being paid less? Oh, really? Then how come the top 4 players in the NFL are black? Who are not only black, but also the highest paid. The highest paid one being Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs. Huh? McGregor would eventually post an entirely new thread attempting to justify his attack on John Madden and his legacy. He began with the new threads. I'm very critical of video games and fantasy sports. They're at the heart of my critique of Matt because he symbolized their rise of prominence and how fans now relate to the game and issues of race, labor, consumption through the prism of roster management and control. He continued, management and control are at the heart of video games and fantasy sports. Players want to build super teams to win. They build rosters to compile stats and make big plays. Doing it with computer-generated players dehumanized real ones and augmented our relationship to violence. He wrote, obviously video games and fantasy sports are wildly popular and few people like to critically think about how they related to race, labor, and consumption of a violent and exploitative sport. But I think we need to consider how they link with our access as fans and to Madden, he concluded. However, while McGregor would lampoon John Madison and his legacy, it appears he actively took part in this exploitation and white supremacy, as he now calls it. Back in 2017, he tweeted, "The fake kneel down is the exact kind of play I would have used against my brother in Madden. It would have perfectly complemented my fake punt offense." McGregor also clearly doesn't know his history for being a history teacher. Madden made it very clear back in 2014 that he doesn't believe children should be tackling or even wearing helmets in youth football. As reported by the Washington Post, Madden appeared on the NFL's Network's Heads Up program where he stated, "I'm a firm believer that there's no way that a 6-year-old should have a helmet on and learn a tackling drill. There is no way, or a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old. They're not ready for it. Take the helmets off kids," he continued. He started at 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old. They don't need helmets. They can play flag football, and with flag football, you can get all the techniques. Man, he good. Why would you have to start with a 6-year-old who was just potty trained a year ago and put a helmet on to tackle it? I have no idea. We'll eventually get to tackling. As for the idea of glamorizing violence, Madden told in the New York Times in 2011, concussions are such a big issue, it has been a big thing in the video game. He added, it starts young kids, they start in video games. I think the emotions is, if you get a concussion, that's a serious thing and you shouldn't play. Or leading with the head that you want to eliminate. We want that message to be strong. As such, in Madden NFL 12, which is considered the last good Madden by Soft Drink Sports. Shout out to him. You need to check out his channel. He's a really good YouTuber. Game shows players receiving concussions and were forced to be sidelined for the rest of the game. I should know. I played it. That happens. So basically, what Aaron McGregor doing, he's not doing nothing much but trying to ruin his legacy, John Madden's legacy over some dumbass bullshit. And the fucking fact that he's attacking John Madden over a fucking video game proves that this idiot doesn't know a damn thing about race. He ain't doing this for fucking race. He doesn't give a fuck. He's like every other goddamn idiot on Twitter. They don't give a fuck about black people. The only reason why he did this shit is because of one damn reason only. It's because he just want to get that clout, that Twitter clout. Scumbag motherfucker. You're gonna shit on a man's. I mean, you don't even have the fucking balls to say this to John Madden when you're alive. You have to be a pussy to attack him when he's dead. Fuck you. Fuck you. And fuck any motherfucker who uses dead people, who want to attack dead people who can't defend themselves just for fucking Twitter clout. This is another damn reason why I think Twitter needs to fucking die. I'm sick of this shit. I'm pretty sure everybody's sick of this shit. Hell, I'm pretty sure the families of the deceased are sick of this shit. But you know what the problem is? They don't care. Idiots on Twitter don't fucking care. They don't care about anyone but themselves. Anywho, I'm just pissed off about this shit. But I would say this to this shit, man. But, you know, I'm like, you're going to shit on this man's grave. I mean, the body's not even fucking cold. He's not even in the goddamn ground. Yet you have to do this shit. Dehumanizing black play. John Madden's made a video game that dehumanized black play. Get the fuck out of here! Shit, I create myself playing Madden. Dehumanize my ass. I usually cheat in that game. I usually make my character create myself with all the 99 stats. Raw stats at 99. Realistic. Although it is kind of weird that when I did that in NCAA 08, I managed to max out my character in 99. That for some reason, when I put up my team on my Virginia, I was the kickoff. I was not only the running back, but also the kicker for the kickoff return. That was funny, but that was hey man, the game was like, oh, you're a kicker, okay, so, but you know, but anywho, man, fuck this. But anyway, man, this shit's getting old and it needs to fucking stop. But I would like to know what your 2 cents is. Anywho, I just wanted to know what you think about this whole situation. As always, be sure to leave a comment, like this video, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell so don't miss other updates. Share with friends, share with your neighbors, share with significant others, and that's about it. But if there's one thing I'm going to say to Dr. Andrew McGregor, I'm going to say this. You don't give a fuck about actual black people. You never had, you never fucking did. You're just doing this for Twitter clout, man. You gave 0 fucks about black people. Fuck you. You scumbag motherfucker. Piece of shit asshole. God, I hate people like this, man. I hate people when they pull shit like this. Heartless motherfuckers.